Joe specialises in raising awareness for people living with autism to get the respect that they deserve in the workplace. She comes from this from a very personal perspective as well, and it is estimated that 1 in 88 people are living with autism in the UK, and more people being diagnosed as adults. So this is an area that we must pay attention to. So Joe's talk tonight is going to be focused on the respect that people with autism deserve and what they can contribute to in the workplace, and for them to be accepted. So let's give a massive round of applause and a warm welcome to Joe.
Hello. Because I've got autism, fiddling does help. You think, oh yes, fiddling distracts. No, it helps the concentration. And also in some circumstances, I would probably wear sunglasses because I'm light sensitive, even in the winter sun. So how many of you have heard of autism? How many of you knew it before I told you about it? That's good. How many of you have seen The Rain Man? Right, brief synopsis. Basically, a younger brother discovers that his brother, an older brother, has got all the money. Visits him in a mental institution, kind of kidnaps him, takes him off, doesn't think much of him initially. Rambling, doesn't really, sort of unemotional, routines. Discovers that he can count cards and wins quite a lot of money. Discovers he's got that great talent. Whilst a lot of the negatives can come out first, communicating, talking, there are actually a great deal of positives. I've done, and a lot of people, unfortunately, look at the negatives before they look at the positives and just dismiss them. I mean, I've done courses on what is required in companies now, a certain amount of percentage if you're above a certain size. But unfortunately, not all companies not everybody sees the value of people who are different. And I'm different. We do things differently, we think things differently, we can get very stressed for no apparent reason. You have to respect that. We view the world differently, and we just can't help it. We are ourselves. We have to act every day, and boy, can it be very exhausting. It can be very, very exhausting indeed. And basically, from my own experiences, think how you keep people in companies. If you think about, say, the 5 R's, recruitment, retention, ripening, reviews, and respect. A lot of those might not occur to you, are issues. But we can get very confused if there's a lot of information and a lot of verbal information. Talk to us for an hour about what's wrong with our performance, and they expect us to actually remember. A lot of you probably struggle with that, wouldn't you? We're trying to work it out. So I'd like to actually speak to companies, promote these fairly basics. A lot of it is actually common sense to anybody, but it can be very relevant to people with autism and other hidden disabilities. And it's very, because, I mean, sorry, lost it. Very, very important to it, because we see things differently. It can get very confusing. But basically, my story, do you think I'm talking here? So what? Not a 2-year-old, non-verbal, going into massive meltdown. I can now talk. I did learn to talk, but it came to me. And age of 18, there my mum is sort of asking me what happened on a TV programme. I shut my eyes looking at my invisible TV screen, which is about there. That's too far, that's too near. Open your eyes and explain things. You can't explain things properly. How many of you now feel good if that was said to you? Don't think many of you do. And then you roll forward. I'm now 44 years old. I'm in a company. I've been told that they don't think I'm much good at the job. I mean, it's partially your communications. and shutting my eyes to think, open your eyes. By the way, distraction is a big thing. I think if I could think, I've got to think with my eyes shut to process, because that is one thing too much for me to focus on sometimes. And by the way, I might be looking inside there on my little TV screen. But basically, what I want to do is make people more aware of the positive abilities that we have that can really help companies, because we can see things totally and utterly differently to other people, and to make even the physical environment to work for us can be better. There are things which many of you might not even consider, distractions, lights, sounds, that can really distract us. So basically, I really want to make companies aware and really let us shine out in the world. How many of you can cope without Facebook, electricity, IBM, Apple, autistic people? Alan Turing, Second World War, we could be speaking German now. Think about it.